Folks, welcome into That Betting Show for Friday, February 8th, 2019. Your one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs. Teddy's still under the weather on Friday, but the show here at sportsbookreview.com must go on. If you haven't done so yet, folks, give us a follow at SBR Sports Picks on Twitter, on the YouTube channel. If you haven't done so yet, no idea why you haven't. Over 53,000 people have already subscribed. Hit that subscribe button down below. Each and every time we go live here on That Betting Show with me and Teddy, you will get the notification, pop in, and view the premier content. You want to give me a follow? I am Donnie Seymour, affectionately known here on the channels as Donnie Rightside at Rightside VP. Let's get right into it, folks. Hot topics of the day, as we always like to start off here doing. Yesterday, didn't know at the trade deadline what was going to happen with the Los Angeles Lakers. Were they going to lose half their team? Who was going to actually play for them versus the versus the Celtics? Who was going to be active in the lineup? Was LeBron going to play if half his team was shipped away, waiting on Anthony Davis? Nothing happened at the deadline for the Lakers outside of the huge deal for Mike Muscala. Didn't matter. Come into the Garden, getting 8.5, getting 9, whatever it closed at yesterday, closer maybe to 9.5. They pull off the upset winner outright over the Boston Celtics in the Garden. A Rajon Rondo late jumper lifts them 129 to 128, which we like to look big picture here on That Betting Show and what that actually means down the road. Are the Lakers rejuvenized now? Did everybody take a deep breath in the locker room as we talked about yesterday, saying, wasn't traded? Everything feels good now? Let bygones be bygones. Maybe you're dating, maybe one of the players still dating somebody in LA, not shipped to New Orleans where it would have broke up the relationship. You don't have to break your lease in your apartment or your condo or your house that you built there. Now you can make that run to the playoffs, because as we look right now, the Lakers currently, folks, sit in that 10th seed right now, and you have to get to the 8th seed in order to make the playoffs. Who's standing in between them right now? That would be the Los Angeles Clippers at 30 and 28 in the 8th seed. And just taking a quick look here at the live updates here. Also, the Sacramento Kings sit in the Lakers' way. LeBron James, best player in the world, should be able to climb over those two teams, get into the playoffs. But what are you going to see at the end of that road there, people? Probably going to be an 8th seed. Probably going to wind up against the number 1 seed, those Golden State Warriors. So beware of what you get for their Lakers. But we all know the NBA as a whole, we want to see the Lakers in the finals. In the playoffs. It's good for ratings. If it's Golden State, yesterday was Golden State versus LeBron in the finals. Now you might get Golden State versus LeBron in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. How interesting is that? Always at sportsbookreview.com. You got to check to get the best lines out there, right? SBRodds.com is the single best place to do that. Why do we say it here? If you're looking for title odds. Now, betting the Los Angeles Lakers to win the title, to each his own right here. But if you're going to do it out there, people, you got to shop around and get the best lines out there. Right now, offshore, the Lakers sit at plus 1,600 at betonline.ag to win the NBA championship. Oh, man, Donnie, 16-1 ticket on LeBron. Let's take that up. If you shop around, if you go to sportsbookreview.com, find the books out there and get multiple outlets, as Teddy and I always preach on the show, you can find a ticket at plus 5,000 right now at 5 dimes if you wish to play the Lakers to win the NBA title. I don't know. LeBron's been there quite a bit over the past 7, 8, 9 years. Can he do it again and maybe cash or maybe hedge? That hill is going to be a tough one to climb, because obviously with Golden State sitting at a minus 200 ticket to win the NBA title, those are some long odds to overcome. But we'll see how the Lakers do as they control their own destiny down the stretch, maybe make a playoff run in there, and what they do in the offseason, maybe trading for AD or opening up the trade market to try to get a second superstar in there with LeBron James. We'll see. But no harm, no foul. Maybe they can mend those fences in LA. We'll see what happens here. Now, the Celtics, on the other hand, were the favorites coming into the NBA season to win the Eastern Conference, and rightfully so. But at the trade deadline, seeming to stay pat. We saw the Philadelphia 76ers get better. We saw the Toronto Raptors get better. We saw the Milwaukee Bucks get better out there. Now, there's an interesting caveat, because when we take a look at the overall standings here in the Eastern Conference right now, 1 through 5, you got the Bucks in the top seed. Best record in the NBA at 40 and 13. Raptors right behind them at 40 and 16. How about an interesting spot here for the Indianapolis Pacers here at 36 and 19, losing Victor Oladipo, but winning a couple games in a row. Can they stay in that spot? Celtics at the 4 seed, and the Sixers on the outside looking in that 1 through 4 because you want to get in that top 4 seed. We want to see that Final Four, right? We want to see the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, and Sixers get it on in the Eastern Conference. So if we take a look at some odds out there currently here in the NBA, these are courtesy of betonline.ag. To win the NBA title, the Bucks plus 900. Same thing with the Raptors plus 900. Celtics plus 1,400, along with the Sixers at plus 1,400. So looking coming into the season, the Celtics, the clear-cut team to get there. Then over the offseason, Toronto adds Kawhi Leonard. Sixers re-up at the trade deadline. Toronto goes above and beyond, gets Marc Gasol. Should be an interesting run there to the finals, but no longer the Celtics, the clear-cut favorite to get home. Obviously, you know where they're battle-tested, have a great home court advantage, fantastic head coach in Brad Stevens, but there's a lot to be desired here heading down the stretch. Barring injuries going into it, would be nice to see that top 4 stay the same. Obviously, if we're looking at those Indianapolis Pacers right now, currently way down the bottom of the list, because the Celtics sit there at 35-20, right? And the Pacers now plus 15,000 to win the NBA title. Amazing how one injury changes up those odds. But as we say again, check out SBR odds and also sportsbookreview.com to get the latest in updates and always have your options open there with books. Talking a little bit of baseball here in the morning on that betting show. JT Realmuto to the Phillies. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look, you see the background back here, right? Forget about all the monsters there. It's mostly Eagles in the background. Yep, from the Philadelphia area. Finally, baseball looks like it's going to reemerge in Philadelphia and paint the town red here with the Philadelphia Phillies. What's going to come next now? You finally get that link. You have one of the most dominant hitting catchers in baseball coming to a hitter-friendly ballpark. And if you watch the Philadelphia Phillies last year, at any moment during the season, pop on the TV, whether it be the MLB Network, MLB.TV, MLB Channel, the late night package where you're watching the Oakland Athletics late night here on the East Coast. You saw the Phillies. They couldn't hit their way out of a paper bag. Outside of Rhys Hoskins, it was strikeout after strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. Men on second and third, 1 out. Men on second and third, no outs. Usually the Phillies weren't able to get any runs out of that. But recent additions in the offseason, Gene Segura, Andrew McCutchen. Now you're going to get JT Realmuto. What's that next step to fall? Because most people are pointing to Bryce Harper. If you can add Bryce Harper to the Philadelphia Phillies lineup and take a look at it, how about this? McCutchen leading off, Gene Segura second, Bryce Harper third, Rhys Hoskins fourth, JT Realmuto fifth, Odubel Herrera sixth, Maikel Franco seventh, Cesar Hernandez eighth. Turns into a legitimate lineup because when you're taking a look at the NL East, pitching powerhouse there with the New York Mets, if they can stay healthy. Even losing Bryce Harper in Washington, still have a formidable team. The Atlanta Braves came on strong last year with a lot of young talent. NL East going to turn some heads this year and make some way as they head into the playoffs. If we take a look now for the Philadelphia Phillies with the Realmuto trade, and maybe some people looking down saying, you know what? Another shoe's going to fall there. Maybe it's Manny Machado. Maybe it's Bryce Harper. Taking a look at betonline.ag, the Yankees plus 700, the Red Sox plus 750, the Astros plus 800, Dodgers plus 800, and the Phillies pulling up the rear in the 5th spot on betonline.ag at plus 1,000. Shopping around again. If you go to 5 Dimes, you can purchase the Phillies right now at a plus 1,800 ticket if you wish to do so. So always keep those options open. Seems like that's the theme of the day here on that betting show. We can only help you push you in the right direction to what you want. Whether or not you bet the Phillies or the Lakers is certainly up to you, but it's always nice to get the best value on those tickets. So shopping around certainly is going to do that for you. Looking forward to it. Hey, how about this, folks? As we sit here right now on that betting show, 2/8. What's that? February the 8th. When that first preseason, or should I say spring training game is coming up? February the 21st. First regular season game is actually going to be over in Japan, people. March 20th and 21st. For the rest of Major League Baseball, opening day is March 28th. And I got something to say on this. Look, might be an off-the-mic segment at another time. Major League Baseball should be built to have a true opening day where everybody plays on opening day and could share in on the fun. What are you wasting it for when you're playing overseas in Japan? Bring that game back to the United States, have some fun. Even in the past in Major League Baseball, when they would open up, have Sunday Night Baseball with the Yankees and the Red Sox to open it. No. Open it up. Let's have a true opening day games. You have the parades like you have in Cincinnati. It's a whole bunch of fun to take a look at that as well. Overnight line movers here on that betting show here for February 9th, 2019. Check out SBRodds.com for all the latest movements here in the city of brotherly love. How about this? The St. Joe Hawks getting a little bit of favoritism here If we take a look at their game versus the St. Louis Pelicans, lines currently right now, and even on the move more, we have it listed on the show, St. Louis versus St. Joe's, plus 2.5, total of 132, money line split of minus 145, plus 125. If we take a look currently updated right now, even farther of a dip here. How about that, folks? St. Louis, to me, the much better basketball team. LeVar Kimball been injured for a while for the St. Joe's Hawks. And it looks like the line is impacting the opposite direction, dropping from 3 to 2 mostly across the board. It looks like Pinnacle is -2, minus 111 right now. Chris -2.5. Intertop's -2.5. Bet Online also coming in at 2.5. We'll see where that line ends up at game time tonight, but probably the time the show gets out and edited, we might see 2s across the board. We'll keep an eye on and check on that as well. Should be an interesting game in the city of brotherly love. Keep it moving down the list here. Chris, line on the move for the Bucks and the Mavericks. Taking a look at a little bit of NBA action here for us. 75% of those early tickets coming in on the Milwaukee Bucks. Line opened up at 8 and 7 in some spots. Currently sitting at 7.5 right now. So earlier today, we spiked it at 8.5, even some 9s showing up on the board, starting to peel those back a little bit. Total-wise in this game, 223. So that line on the move as well. Just goes to show you they're moving minute to minute to minute at most times, right up till game time. We listed a total there on the screen of 221.5. And as we said again, that line has since moved to 223, 222.5 at most outlets. Moneyline split -350, plus 281. Brooklyn Nets line creeps up versus a weak Bull squad. Taking a look right now on the punched up screen here for us. -9 for the Nets, 223.5. Moneyline split plus 340, -440. If we take a look here at the current updated standings of this game, looking at 8.5s across the board and 224.5. So it looks like the total is on the move as we clinch up north. Watch what you bet. Couple big basketball games on tonight. Now look, usually it's a football Friday here in the networks. Watch what you bet. Ooh, Super Bowl's coming up on Sunday, or in the previous week, conference championship weekend, divisional weekend, wild card weekend, or even just your normal week 1 through 17 line in the NFL. A lot to talk about. Stripped down now here as we get you moving forward to March Madness. The new look Sixers, people. Welcome in the Denver Nuggets. Line split here, -4.5, total of 229. Moneyline split, plus 175, -210. It's going to be a national game, 7 p.m. live from the city of brotherly love at the Wells Fargo Center. Denver comes in 10 and 17 on the road against the spread, 12 and 9 against the spread versus Eastern Conference opponents, and 5 and 7 on the road as an underdog. Denver currently sitting in the 2 seed out in the West. And if we look last time these two teams played out in Denver, easy winner for those Denver Nuggets. But keep in mind, the Sixers did have a couple players on rest. I believe Jimmy Butler was still under, the weather, so to speak, of a wrist injury, and Joel Embiid was on a maintenance day. They'll both be back and ready to go. Latest tweets out there. Also, the new Sixers, Tobias Harris and also Boban, will be available in this game along with Mike Scott. So all hands on deck. Try to get some revenge for those Philadelphia 76ers. We take a look at the Sixers here at home this year, 21 and 6 straight up, 14 and 13 against the number, 14 and 6 straight up, and 10 and 10 versus the Western Conference. So having some success beating the Western Conference, but about 50-50 there checking in against the number. As we keep it moving, how about this, folks? Pelicans held Anthony Davis out. Maybe we would trade him. Maybe we won't trade him. Pelicans are just out of a playoff spot, not too far back from the Los Angeles Lakers right now, and get Anthony Davis back and healthy. And he states he's going to play the rest of the season and play as many games as possible. There was no way the NBA was going to allow Anthony Davis to sit out the rest of the season just to see if they would trade him over the summer. That would have been ridiculous, opened up some investigations, and just, added to the off-season drama of the WWE-style NBA, where sometimes it's more interesting off the court than on it, as you saw yesterday with the trade deadline and all the advances that the Eastern Conference made. But he's back tonight, and it's interesting because when you take a look at the lines that are coming up now for this game, -6 is across the board, -6.5 even showing up at Pinnacle, 231 as an over-under. So even at the time that we drew up the show, 233.5, that line already on the move to the south. Money line split plus 220, -260. And then again with the Pelicans being a favorite here on national television, 9:30 p.m. The one thing I'm going to be watching about this game is, even if you're not betting this game itself, let's see the home crowd reaction to Anthony Davis get introduced into the starting lineup tonight and see what the crowd reaction is going to be. Boos, cheers, because he's not listed on the injury report. He should be going tonight. Only sat out the previous 2 games, and Anthony Davis himself said he was ready to go the other night, but they just wanted to have him sit out through the precautionary due to precautionary status, just to see if he was going to get moved. It want to damage the trade bait that they have. Now, getting through all that stuff and working into the off the mic segment, one of my favorite segments that we have here on That Betting Show, because you get the sound off on a couple things, and it doesn't even have to deal with, day-to-day type stuff. Maybe it builds up over the years, or you just see some nonsensical things that go on. The buck stops, people, with the Oakland Raiders, with Al Davis and his son Tommy Boy, as we like to call him. Was there a worse run franchise? You say, Donnie, look, the Browns are horrible. They don't win anything. The Detroit Lions are horrible, Donnie. They don't win anything. So how could you say the Oakland Raiders, who do have Super Bowls in their past, Washington Redskins got Super Bowls in their past, they're a horrible run for franchise. But when we take a look at the Oakland Raiders, some things just baffle the mind and just let you know that when you have an NFL franchise, it doesn't even matter what you do to your franchise, number one. It doesn't matter what you do to your fan base. You print money and it doesn't matter. Al Davis, over the years, continuously sued the NFL over nonsensical things left and right. Most of the owners disagreed with his business practices, didn't like his approach, but it's the NFL. What are you going to do? The Raiders are a popular franchise and a popular brand, obviously knowing by the black and silver. Now, when we take a look at the older Raiders, the John Madden Raiders, the guys that were drinking in the bar all night long before they played the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl in 1980 and wind up beating them. The loosey-goosey Raiders, the second-hand Raiders, meaning cast-offs from under other organizations. They couldn't fit here, but they can fit in with the Raiders. And they always made those bottom-of-the-barrel coaching hires. They always paid their coaches less than everybody because it was Al Davis's team, like he was the coach. Pick up the phone on the sideline, coach. I want us to throw deep to Cliff Branch. That doesn't work anymore. And when you take a look at the Raiders' business model, let's take a look at what they've done on the field. Oh, the Raiders are a historically good franchise. One division title since 2002. The last time the Oakland Raiders won the division, people, was 2002. And to make things worse here, as I check some notes, since 2002, people, one season with more than 8 wins. And you say, it's 2002 wins. It's 2019. They had more than 8 wins one time since 2002. Draft picks that absolutely made no sense. Coaching hires that absolutely made no sense. The Jamarcus Russells of the world, the Hugh Jacksons of the world. It's an endless stream. Lane Kiffins of the world. Hiring Lane Kiffin, firing him, and telling him he's not going to pay him because he doesn't have to or felt like he did a good job. The business model for the Oakland Raiders is hilarious. Let's take this into account if you're running a franchise and you're trying to get maximum value. You're a businessman, right? You start in Oakland, the 8th largest market in the country. Between the Bay Area, Oakland, all merged, San Jose. And you move them to Los Angeles, to the number 2 market, where you share it with the Rams, and the Rams are moving out. You don't even have the foresight to stay in Los Angeles, the second biggest market, come pony up some money, build a new stadium, and maybe have the most expensive franchise in the NFL. You move back to Oakland. You ruin Oakland Alameda County Coliseum by putting in Mount Davis in center field and completely ruins the aesthetics of the baseball team, of the baseball field. You're playing football games where you have a diamond in the middle. An actual baseball diamond is still there through September. So then what do? You're moving out of the 8th market into the 39th market in Las Vegas, where a casino mogul is going to build you a stadium that's not your stadium. It's still going to be owned by the casino mogul. The simple fact that the Raiders are run this way is an absolute travesty. Is there a single organization throughout the sport of time, or at time of sport, I should say, that has treated their fans worse than the Oakland Raiders? And again, where are we playing in 2019? Oakland is suing you right now and says they want you to pay $20 million if you even want to think about playing home games at the Oakland Alameda County County Stadium. That's not going to work. So what do? They go out and say, hey, look, we're just going to go to AT&T Park or Oracle Park, whatever they call it now in San Francisco, and we're going to play on their baseball field. Don't get any measurables out there. Don't clear it with anybody. Don't clear it with the 49ers. Now everybody's in an upheaval because they're probably going to down. So where are we playing? In San Diego, Are we just going to go down and like barnstorm around the NFL? We're going to change everything up. Tim Kawakami of The Athletic tweets, how is it possible that the Raiders decided on Oracle Park without getting all the necessary approvals? What a waste of time and energy, and now they're mad. The 49ers are mad. The city of Oakland is still suing them, and they still don't have a stadium deal for 2019. This is an NFL franchise right now in February that does not know where it's going to play its games next year. How do you sell tickets to a fan base? And can you go back to Oakland and say, we would like to play here? And how are your fans going to treat you knowing that you're bouncing the following year and you don't care one iota about what they think? You just can't wait to get to Las Vegas. And that's not even what's happening on the field. We're trading your best players away. We're signing John Gruden to a 10-year, $100 million deal. It's a mess in Raiderville, and that's why they're getting ripped today in the Off the Mic segment. It's Friday. You're going to have a great weekend out there, people. A lot of tickets because tomorrow, Duke and Virginia are going to square it up, and you should be able to enjoy that game. There's no football this weekend, but a plethora of college basketball to chew on. That betting show for February 8th, 2019. Thanks for tuning in. Teddy's going to rest up over the weekend, people, on Saturday and Sunday. Be back with full energy on Monday to help carry us through. If you haven't done so yet, give us a follow at SBR Sports Picks on Twitter. Give the subscription there on YouTube. Push that button. Every time we go live, you get the notification that new content has been produced at sportsbookreview.com and also at sbrodds.com. Every moment those lines changes, and look at the screen right now. They're changing right now. You'll get those live updates. For Donnie Seymour at Rightside VP, this has been That Betting Show. Enjoy your weekend, folks. We'll see you back on Monday.